buzzing, wallets on the grind, digits in the ledger, futures intertwined. Satoshi whispers, secrets in the breeze, digital gold stacking sats with ease. Proof of work, my hustle never idles. Hold on my survival, charts like Bibles. Altcoins flipping, portfolios tripping, DeFi dripping, liquidity sipping. Good morning, crypto, the block don't sleep. Digits dance, and the market runs deep. Good morning, crypto, the bulls might creep. When the whales make waves, the tide's gon' sweep. Candlesticks flicker, patterns in the flame, bears in the shadows, but I'm ahead of the game. Decentralized vision, my keys, my domain. From the ether to the moon, I'm riding the chain. Metaverse flexing, pixels on my fit. NFT collection, rare gems, no split. Staking on the low, APY on the rise. Good morning, crypto, welcome to the skies. Mining dreams in a digital mine. Gas fees high, but the payoff divine. Flip that coin, watch it land on its side. Heads or tails, the future's decentralized. Fees high, but the payoff divine. Flip that coin, watch it land on the side. Heads or tails, the future's decentralized.
Step 1, wake up early, gon' ride the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Well, good morning. It's time for another episode of Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. I might have some news a little bit later today. On our start time. So I might be going back to my old start time, which would be this time. A little bit more time in the morning for me to go to like the gym and stuff like that, because I wouldn't have an hour drive anymore. So stay tuned. I will announce that in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, that link is in the description. So go ahead, check that on out. But, we are seeing some movements this morning on both the stock side and the crypto side of things. Might have a little bit of a level to try to hold on Bitcoin. That's in the title. We will get to that in just a second. We did see a massive move of some Bitcoin as well. We'll dive on into that one after we get you prepped for some success though. You know what I got pulled up in the background. It is that stock heat map. So let's dive on in. We are seeing a little bit of some green in this pre-market. We do have a few outliers though. Apple sitting down 0.24% this morning. We've got Nvidia up 0.69. We've got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.16. We've got Amazon up 1.34% this morning. Eli Lilly sitting down 0.32. We've got ExxonMobil up 0.12. We've got Tesla up 0.65. P&G sitting in that neutral range, down 0.03% this morning. We've got Microsoft up 0.45. We've got Google up a whole percent right now, and Meta sitting up 0.73 after a close in the red last week. On the crypto side of things, we're looking pretty green over here as well. As you can see, we've only got one outlier, and that is TRX. Scrolling on down, though, we've got Bitcoin sitting up 2.4%. We've got Ethereum up 3.1%, XRP up 2.7%, BNB sitting up 4%. I did see some news coming out of the BNB sector that we will be talking about tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. We've got Solana up 2.9%, Dogecoin up 1.8%. We've got Tron sitting down 0.8%. We've got Cardano up 3.5%. Chainlink taking a spot back in that market cap, up 2.9%. We got Hyperliquid making some moves towards the upside as well, and taking a spot in the market cap, sitting up 6.6%. We've got Avalanche losing that spot in the market cap, sitting up 4.1%. We've got Stellar Lumens up 3.3. We will be taking a look at that chart this morning, and I got another chart that looked pretty interesting to me. So might be taking a look at some HBAR as well if we have time. If y'all have any alt requests you'd like me to take a look at for a potential trade today, go ahead, drop those in the chat now. I will ask for other alt requests a little bit later in the show. Try to keep those in this top 20 though. We've got SWE sitting up 3.6, Bitcoin Cash sitting up 2.4. We've got HBAR sitting up 2.3, Leo token holding quite steady, up 0.8%, and Litecoin up 2.1%. For those fear and greeds, we're looking pretty neutral across the board. We've got the stock side looking very neutral, sitting at 53 after a little bit of some sell-off at the end of last week, dropping us out of that greed. We did get that move back to neutral on the crypto side of things as well. We were sitting in fear for a little while. We got that move up at the end of yesterday, and we got that move 13 points up to sit back in neutral. We do have some key levels to hold, so pay attention to those levels this morning, and we will see if we can continue on or to the upside, or if the bottom is not in. We do have a little bit of liquidity sitting towards the upside of us on this 24-hour chart. That liquidity is at $113,000. If you zoom this on out just a little bit here on this 3-day, we've got quite a bit of liquidity that piled up underneath us when we were ranging sideways. So taking a look here, we've got that liquidity sitting at 108,500. That is a nice little area to see if we can come back down to, if we can't maintain one of our key levels that we're at right now. Zooming on out just a little bit more, taking a look at this 2-week. Hopefully it loads this time. It didn't load last week. Yep, look at that. I don't know what is up with this, but it doesn't want to load that 2-week ever. So we will zoom this out a little bit further. We do still have some liquidity back at this $94,000 price point. We did talk about a little bit lower as well. That was coming in at $89,000. We will kind of have to see what levels we hold, if the bottom is actually in, and if we can continue towards the upside. But we will get to that in just a second. We do have a little bit of some economic data coming out this week. Nothing too heavy today though. Scrolling all the way back up. Oop, I was scrolling through the calendar. We do have some heavy data coming out of not the US today, but out of Japan. Today I will be focused mainly on that Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. not a massive market mover, as manufacturing is a smaller part of the economy, as we've outsourced a lot of that. But we do have a few more Fed chairs speaking today. We'll be keeping my eyes on those. Not a massive market mover, but we did get a lot of consensus last week on things remaining moderately restrictive because of inflation. So I will be listening to these Fed chair speeches today. Scrolling on down, though, we get the Bank of Japan's summary of options that were opinions that was from their last rate decision. And scrolling on down a little bit further, out of mainland China, we get some manufacturing PMI data. So that'll be that big market mover for today, coming in at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time and at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I do see a few alt requests to take a look at for a potential trade. Let me get those up there. We got LTC. I saw, where else was there? A little bit higher, Doge. I don't look at that one often, but we can definitely take a look at some Doge. I didn't see any other ones. Oh, never mind. Scratch that. Jesse asking for some ADA as well. So those are those three we will take a look at along with Bitcoin to see if we can take a trade on either of those. We got AVNT requested for a little bit later in the show, so we can take a look at that as well. Let's get over to this Bitcoin chart, say good morning to some of the people in the chat. We've got quite a few viewers this morning. We've got Jesse Gluck first in the chat. We got JR saying no YouTube notification. Well, I don't know. Sometimes, they kind of censor us, and they were like ghosted on some of those notifications, because I never got notified I went live this morning either. So I don't know. Maybe we're just dropping too much of that alpha here on the YouTube. We got Ada Ace in the chat. If you haven't checked out his channel, you definitely should be. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Dylan VA. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see who else we got. We got Caliphant in here. We got Buck in the chat. I guess this time sits a little bit better with your mornings. So hopefully we can keep this time, and I won't have to drive a whole hour to get to work every morning. And then we can have a little more viewers. We got Jay in the chat as well. Good morning to you. We got Curtis Hill in here. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We got Donato Cabrera in the chat. Good morning. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Steve Hickey in here and Melissa as well. Good morning to the both of you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. Not looking like I missed anyone. So let's dive on into this one. I see Solana requested as well. We can take a look at Solana and see what we got going on. But let's dive into this Bitcoin chart and see what we got going on here first. We are right back to a level we were talking about last week. If we didn't hold that 111,800, there was a big downside potential move. That is pretty much exactly what happened. And then we're right back to where we started now. We are seeing a little bit of some hopium here on this daily chart. Taking a look at this prime oscillator and the MACD here, you're getting plenty of curvature back towards the upside here with some lighter red candles on this histogram, and we've got a bottom indicator here on the prime oscillator with a reversal signal and a hidden divergence. So looking like we could get some moves towards the upside here if we can continue to have this money flow coming on in. We are very close to some green money flow on this daily, so watch some of those shorter time frames to really see if we can bleed that over into our higher time frame with some nice big bodied candles here. Zooming on in, taking a look at this 4 hour here. The 4 hour just starting to get to a point where you could really see some nice upside potential here. You do see a little bit of some toppiness here on the prime oscillator, but that big thing to watch, like I talked about on that daily, is going to be this money flow. We're starting to see it come in a little bit sideways here as we're waiting to see if we can break into some green money flow here this morning. Our volume's just starting to pick up, not too unexpected. As we are coming out of that weekend, we did get that nice push up back to the bottom side of our sideways range here, and we're looking to see if we can hold that. We're seeing a little bit of some bouncing off of that 111,800 on this higher term time frame. We will have to zoom this on in a little bit more because we are seeing a little bit of some toppiness on that 1 hour, like we're seeing on that prime oscillator here on the 4. That 4 hour is very, very green though, so could continue towards the upside if we can maintain some of this money flow here. As you can see, we're getting some nice bouncing action off of that 111,800. We are seeing a little bit of some local resistance right now coming in at 112,400. That is going to be that area to get above this morning. It came in as some resistance before, right before we dropped below that 111,800. So we're doing some battle with that price point this morning. That'll be our local resistance for now to see if we can get above. If we cannot get above that, looking at some bouncing action about 110,800 would be the move to kind of watch for. Let me get that drawn on out there so you can see it a little bit better. That's that area I'd kind of keep my eye on for us to hold today. If we can't hold that, looking back to the lows would be a move to watch for. I am looking to see if we can break above this morning. If we can, we do have that resistance still at 113,500. So keep your eye on that one as well. We've got a lot of ETH talk in the chat this morning. Who brought up ETH? Who's got Jesse on a tear? Let's see. We've got that 15-minute chart also looking a little bit toppy here. Not overly toppy though, as you are seeing a little bit of sideways momentum coming in on that MACD instead of some heavy curvature like we saw up here. So we will be watching to see if we can get some nice green money flow coming on in. BC, is that the point of control on Bitcoin? No, that's the bottom side of that sideways range. Let me zoom that back on out to the hourly here. As you can see, that 111,800, that was the bottom side of this sideways range before we dropped on in. The point of control was actually way up here at 118,200. So we do have another point of control for this sideways range way down here, which was an area I was kind of watching for some bottom side here. That's at 106,100. So a few little areas to kind of keep your eye on. If we can maintain that 111,800, which is the bottom side of that sideways range we had made after all-time highs, then we could continue towards the upside there. So definitely looking for a little bit of some upside if we can continue with some green money flow, which is definitely possible since we don't have any heavy data drops today. So would need to get above that 112,400 first. If we can't really get above that, looking for a little bit of sideways action on top of the bottom side of the range, unless we really see some money flow coming on out with some strength today. All right, we had a few requests for us to take a look at for a potential trade this morning, so let's dive on in. We had ADA, LTC, and Doge looking like 64% long. I will give you a few more. Let's see, we've got 14 votes, pretty much on point. So we will end that poll 64% long, and then we will get these alt requests in there. We've got Bitcoin to take a trade on, we've got ADA, we've got LTC, and we've got Doge. So y'all let me know what we should take that trade on this morning, and at the end of the show we will get that trade in. We've got Doge as well. I'm gonna start that poll, and then I'm gonna dive into this TA really quickly. We've got ADA. Dang, getting that rejection off of 80 cents, that is a level we had talked about last week. We got that nice drop back down to 75 cents. That was a level we were talking about as well. Let's see if we can get that move off of 78 cents here. This is a little bit of a local resistance, local support area. As you can see, we got those nice candle body closes directly on 78 cents here. We did get that nice wick in action below it, so looking like a lot of buying pressure below 78 cents here. That is that area to kind of keep your eyes on, see if we can get that nice bounce back towards the upside here. 80 cents is looking like our resistance price point right now. And let's zoom this on in to see what we're looking like here on the hourly. Hourly is looking a little bit toppy, but not like you're going to see some crazy downside potential unless you see some very strong money flow coming on out. We got Jay Via saying, "Die Solana, die." Are you a hater of Solana as well, or are you just wanting Solana to die so that a short that you got going on will print you some money? Because I would say die Solana, die for completely different reasons. I hate centralized entities in crypto. Oh, you're shorting. So I guess that's why. So we are holding up an area that was some resistance right now, but it definitely does look like you could potentially lose that area. This current price point at 79 cents was resistance all through here. We're trying to hold that up right now. We will kind of have to see if we can get that bouncing action on that shorter term time frame. But it does look like this morning we are in a little bit of a downtrend after that nice solid bouncing action off of 76 cents. Taking a look at this 15-minute here. 15-minute does look like you could see that potential bouncing action. Might have a little more downside to really hit that bounce though. So about 78 cents would be that area I'd kind of watch for a potential bounce at before you get that nice move back towards the upside. We do have that local resistance, which is also long-term resistance at 80 cents above us. So that's that price point I'd kind of keep my eye on for the upside with how everything is looking for now. We got Jesus Break Barack in the chat saying 6 more likes. Well, I appreciate that there. Telling everyone hit that like button. And let's see, we got pretty decent numbers right now. We'll see if we can get that 100% like button this morning. We had LTC and Doge requested, so let's see what we got on some Doge. That is next on that chart there. I don't look at these meme coins very often there, so let's take a look here on the daily, see what we got going on. Nice little bouncing area off of this 236 on a fib extension level. Been a long time since you've seen me look at Doge. As you can tell, we got our levels pulled all the way from back here in December, so it's been a little while since I've looked at some Doge here. But look how nicely those levels hit in. We've got that resistance here at the 24-cent price point. We had the resistance at 28 cents as well, and 31 cents coming in as some resistance as well. So nice little levels pulled from December, came in as some resistance over and over. Really waiting to see if we can hold the 236 here on the higher term time frame. We do have a hidden divergence. We've got some nice support directly below us as well. Let's get that drawn on out here. Magnet tool, I hate you, but gonna be a little bit useful here. So we got some nice support coming in directly below us as well. That's that kind of bouncing area to watch us to see if we can get that nice move towards the upside at. We do have 24 cents coming in as a little bit of a resistance area to kind of keep our eyes on. Let's zoom this on in. Take a look at the hourly. Daily could get some upside movements if we can see that money flow really coming our way. So let's zoom on in, see how this hourly time frame is doing, see if we can get that money flow coming on in. We do have some nice local support here as well. As you can see, we're making those nice higher lows here. We are making higher highs as well, so a little bit different than ADA. Looking like this is in a bit of an uptrend here. Could potentially see that bounce in action coming in directly below us at about 20 22.9, if not watching for that 236 to be hit all over again at about 22.69. Let's zoom this on in, see how the 15-minute is doing, and see what the morning might bring our way here. Morning is starting to see a little bit of some bullish potential here if we can get another little bottoming here on our prime oscillator. We've got our first little reversal signal flashing. We've got a bullish divergence, but definitely looking like that MACD's momentum is heading back towards the downside here. So I would look for a little bit of a lower bounce coming on in at what was resistance. Let's get that short-term horizontal ray drawn on up here. You can see all that rejections before it as well. So 22.946 would be that potential for a short-term bouncing area before we could get that stronger move back towards the upside. If not, looking back down to that 236 would be what I would look for. And then we had Doge. No, that was Doge. We had LTC requested as well. So let's scroll it on down, and y'all let me know what we're looking at for a trade this morning, and then we'll get to that news article we were looking at and see what other alt requests we got going on. Now we got Orham saying nice living room. Damn. Yeah, this was all made with AI. It's definitely a green screen, but it is pretty similar to what my room looks like. I got a lot of LEDs in my room. I like to have that nice chill vibe. Need a few more posters though, so looking like I'll potentially do this. If you can see it here, this one that has my name on it, BC Port Corp. Potentially gonna make a little poster and actually hang that up on my wall. We'll see what the girl thinks about it though. So she's in charge. You can't hang up anything unless she actually approves of it. So let's see what she thinks of that. We do see a little bit of some local resistance here at the 50% line of this old fair value gap. We did end up closing it with that nice strong move back towards the 50% line here. So let's get that colored in black so we know it's actually been filled. We often see these old fair value gaps come back into play though. Celephant asking Rasta colors, a little bit Rasta colors, but more along the lines of like warm RGB colors. I like that prismatic warm side. Oh, let me undo that. Control Z. Let me lock my fibs. Gosh, that's a rookie mistake there. Always remember, lock your fibs. That's how you mess things up here. We are seeing a little bit of some curvature back towards the downside here on the higher term time frame. So we'll have to watch that shorter term time frame to see if we can get some bouncing action back on the bottom of our fair value gap here, coming in at 104.10. That is the bottom side of that fair value gap. We are seeing a little bit of some resistance here at the 50% line, which is 106.70. But we're starting to see a potential for some upside movements if we can get some nice green money flow coming on in here. We've got that MACD running a little bit sideways here. Does have a little bit of a curve back towards the downside, but if we get some short-term money flow, that can really see that nice sideways momentum and then getting some curvature back towards the upside there. We are seeing a reversal signal here on the prime oscillator and some curvature back towards the upside here. So let's see how this hourly is looking and what the day might bring our way. A few little bouncing potential price points directly below us. Let's get that sideways range a little zoomed on in here. We are seeing a potential for some bouncing here at about 104.83. That is where we saw a lot of our resistance. Let me get that drawn on up here. 104.80 is that price point where we saw resistance here and resistance here at. We did get that nice liquidity grab and then a move back down before we really saw some strong resistance on that 104.81. So that'd be that area I'd potentially look for some bouncing at. Above that, pretty much directly below where we're at right now, would be 105.53. That'd be an all right entry. I would look for a better entry at 104.81 though. Let's see what we're looking like here on the 15-minute. 15-minute also looking a little bit like you could see some continued downside there with that MACD pointing back towards the downside. We got a bearish divergence here, hidden bearish divergence, but a bearish divergence, and we're continuing to point towards the bottom side here. So would look for another reversal signal to start flashing, and then possibly that third one. So I would look for a third resistant reversal signal somewhere over here. That's probably where we're going to get some better bottoming. It would be aligned with that hourly as well. I see All Set in the chat. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. So those are those few potentials for a trade this morning. We've got ADA, LTC, Doge, and Bitcoin. So waiting to see which one of those y'all vote for. Looks like 44% for some Bitcoin right now, and second place coming in as LTC and Doge. It is split between the two of those. I would probably put a limit order on those, as we do have the potential for a little more downside. Or Ham Satan still waiting for 98K. I'm assuming that's on Bitcoin, and that's pretty much right at a level that I was looking at, that we talked about last week, but potentially looking for that 106 area first, and then we will kind of have to see if that will hold, and then see if we get all the way back down to close a fair value gap at 97K. All right, let's see. BC, what's your favorite exchange to use? Are you talking about crypto, or are you talking about for stocks? If it's for stocks, use Webull, and if it's for crypto, I've been using BTCC for now. So let's see what y'all vote for our trade this morning. We've got 16 votes in and 24 watching, so get your votes in, and then we'll take that trade at the end of the show. I did have some news to go over. Nothing too crazy, just a nice big move of $44 million worth of Bitcoin. That is after 12 years of holding some Bitcoin. They're looking to potentially sell off some of that. You know, you can't go wrong with some like almost 1,000,000% profit towards the upside, because 12 years holding, you're talking about back when Bitcoin was really first getting started, probably buying in at that $1,000 price point. But Satoshi era wallets have really been making some moves on the blockchain here. Screw your ads, we don't want to see that. All right, let's dive on into this article here. A dormant Bitcoin wallet containing $44 million worth of Bitcoin moved funds for the first time in 12 years on Sunday, according to Look On Chain, a blockchain analytics platform. Data from Arkham Intelligence shows that the wallet address, whatever this is, transferred roughly 400 Bitcoin to multiple wallets on Sunday, mostly in equal batches of 15 Bitcoin. This effectively emptied out all the funds from the wallet. Although the platform's transaction data doesn't disclose the source of the Bitcoin, Look On Chain reported the receiving wallet was funded by miners 15 years ago. The reason for the transfer remains unknown, as does the identity of the wallet ownership. Over the 12 years the wallet remained dormant, Bitcoin's value increased approximately 830 times, surging from around $135 to $111,800 today. So, not a bad little move towards the upside for him, getting in at $135 and making it all the way up above 100K. Not a bad time to take some profits and potentially do something with $44 million. Because, sometimes greed is not the best move to make. We did have a few other alt requests there. Blowfin lets you send money in and out without KYC, said JR. That's also a nice little exchange to use on the crypto side of things as well. I've just been favoring BTCC because it lets me trade tokenized stocks with some leverage, and that's been a a lot of fun to do. Looks like Doge is taking that number 2 spot on our poll there. So let's take a look at a few of those other alt requests. I was seeing some interesting things I wanted to share with you today. We've been talking about XLM for a while now. Let's get this zoomed on out to that higher term time frame here so you can get that better look here. We did see that resistance coming in all over at 36 cents. We've been in a nice little consolidation pattern here, and we're waiting for that break out of our resistance area. As you can see on that higher term time frame, we do have that resistance coming in, that resistance line coming in from the wicking action. There we go, that wicking action all the way down. We're waiting to see if we can get that break above it here, and that would be an area to kind of watch for. We do have the potential for a continued cool off within our consolidation area. I see this 35 cents coming in as some support over and over again. Would be that nice area to kind of keep your eye on here, as we haven't come all the way back down to our support line all the way down here, which is below that 35-cent horizontal support area. So we are seeing some rejections off of our local areas. We saw 37 cents coming in, we saw 37.5, and then 36.8. That is our local resistance right now. We're waiting to see if we can hold this 50% line here. Taking a look here at this hourly, we are seeing a little bit of some toppiness there. Let's get that zoomed on in a little bit better there. You can see a little bit of some toppiness here on this hourly. That MACD breaking below our indicator line here. Prime oscillator pointing to the downside and looking in the red. We do have that potential to come all the way back down to our 50% line here, sitting at 36.2. That'd be that level to kind of watch for. See if we can get some bouncing action off of it, as we're trying to see if we can hold up our local area of support right now, which is 36.5. Would look for that to potentially be broken. Looking how that momentum is going so far. Definitely seeing a little bit of some downside potential on it. Short term, we could see a little bit of some bouncing right back up to that 36.828. If we can get above that and really hold it though, we've got a nice little level above that coming in at 37.511. That is also getting us back up towards our resistance line, which would potentially give us some nice rejections back towards the downside and that 35-cent price point. I'm not in this XLM trade yet. We are waiting for it to confirm a breakout of our range, and then you have some very high upside potentials all the way back up towards some levels we haven't been at in months. As you can kind of see here, we've got the nice break up consolidation here, and we're waiting for that next leg towards the upside. If we lose all of this, it doesn't look pretty though. We do have some levels way down here at 31 cents. That'd be that next little area to kind of watch for. So we had XLM there, H bar as well. I've been watching that one and talking about it quite a bit. It did see some little bit of a move towards the upside as we were watching this resistance line. We got that nice little break above. We did see that golden pocket hold as some support for a little bit, and then we got that drop all the way back down to our resistance line, and it's looking like it's been turned into some support here. So really watching to see if we can get that money flow to really hold us up here. We are seeing that sideways momentum on the prime oscillator and the MACD here. We've got a bullish divergence and 2 reversal signals that have flashed. So looking like we have the potential to continue back towards the upside here, as that support came in at both that area we were looking for, which was 20 cents, and bouncing off of our old resistance line, trying to turn it into some support there. So H bar looking a little bit nice for some upside potential if you can get that money flow coming back in here. Taking a look at this hourly, we are seeing some potential continued downside for today before we continue to make another higher low here. So as you can see, we got those lows back here at that 20 cent price price point, we did get that higher low here coming in at almost 21 cents, and we're looking to see if we can continue with that uptrend, come in with another higher low here. You're seeing a little bit of some toppiness here on the hourly, but that prime oscillator pretty close to the bottom there. 15-minute does look like the rest of the market, and you could see a little bit of some bouncing action, but we've got local resistance directly above us at 21.5 cents there. So let's get that short-term one drawn on out here. Magnet tool messing me up. I hate you. All right, 21.5 cents is going to be that local resistance to really get above. Potential for some rejections off of that area. Bitcoin still holding strong for that trade. So we did have a few other requests here. We had AVNT and Solana. Let's see what we got. Hit those likes. I ride waves multiple targets and entries all day, every day. Yeah, if you're not in the Discord, JR drops a lot of trade setups in there. So he's got his own little channel there that he does a lot of those. Price times volume plus moving average plus momentum overlays. So price action and volume and momentum. Price action is king. Most definitely. You can take a look at the candle bodies and really get that price action. Or you can use some oscillators to kind of help you out with that. So I like using the oscillator sometimes because it makes it a little bit quicker to just take a look at the chart and be like, okay, and then you're good to go. But the candle bodies really tell that story as well. We are making some higher lows here on Solana on that shorter term time frame, but let's get this zoomed on out to the daily, see what we're looking like here. We did have a bunch of these levels coming on in here. I might have to clean this chart up a little bit because our target levels have been nice and like on point. We got that nice little bouncing action back here off of that 173. We got that strong bounce off of 181, which was that higher term time frame here. Let's get these shorter time frames drawn on out so the chart doesn't look so confusing here. We'll get that one gone too, and this one gone as well. Shorter time frames all gone. There we go. So now we just got the higher term time frames drawn on out here. We did get that nice strong bouncing action off of 190 and that 382 there. So looking like a nice little move back towards the upside here. And we've got that local resistance from all the way back here, which we rejected off of here. We rejected off of here as well. We got that nice move back above, couldn't hold the 236, drop back below, and we would look for 217.87 to see how price really reacts. Could be that resistance all over again. Would like to see that turn into some support because we haven't actually turned it into some support. We got the rejection off of it, the move above it, never came back down and retested on it. So looking for that to be a little bit of a testing area for some Solana there. We are looking like we're in a little bit of a downtrend on the macro, but this could be that switch up here on a higher term time frame. So we do have these higher lows here, but on about that 4 hour, we'd be looking for a downtrend. So this is that area we would potentially look for to see if we can have that reversal of trend on the higher term time frame and continue on towards the upside there. So looking like we've got those lower highs, and this is where we're trying to break that trend right now. Seeing a little bit of some downside. 4 hour is looking a little bit toppy here. We got that sideways momentum coming in on that MACD line. We've got that prime oscillator also with some curvature and a reversal signal back towards the downside with that money flow in the red here. So doing a little bit of some battle at the old resistance right now. That's 205.58. That'd be a potential bouncing point. Let's see what that hourly is looking like. Hourly seeing a little bit of some downside potential, but that MACD is coming in with a little bit of some sideways momentum right now. So getting a little bit of some curvature on that one. Prime oscillator still pointing towards the downside there, but the hopium here on hourly is that nice green money flow. Ooh, that mouse got a little move. Nice green money flow here on the hourly, and that volume's just starting to pick back up here. So potential for some bouncing off of the 205.58, and then we would like to see that move back up to 217.87. See what price does at that price point. We do have that 15-minute and the morning looking a little bit bouncy here, as you do see that reversal signal, some oversold signals starting to flash here. Really waiting to see if we can get that nice price holding up at that price point directly below us there, as you could see some continued downside as that money flow is looking like it's trying to break into the red right now. Let me get that moved on over. Money flow looking like it's trying to break into the red right now, so could see a little more downside action on Solana. If you're in that short, not a bad move there. So definitely could see a little more downside, and then wait to see if we get that bouncing action back at 205. We had AVNT requested as well. See what we got going on there. You guys, what do you look for with the MACD? Momentum. So MACD is a momentum indicator. You have your MACD line coming in as your longer time, and your short term is this indicator line. So you also get that momentum as well with your histogram. You can kind of see we're in the red right now on the shorter term time frame. Zooming on out, take a look at the hourly there. You are just starting that momentum towards the downside, as you just broke below our indicator line as well. So those are those things to kind of watch for. You do have the potential for some bullishness if you can maintain above that zero. Above the zero, normally positive momentum. You do get that downside action within uptrends though, so this kind of gives you those indicators as well. So MACD, a momentum one, and then the RSI, which is this prime oscillator, smooth RSI, kind of gives you the speed of that direction. So that's why I like to use those together. Let's see what we got. We had AVNT, and then it's time to wind the show on down because I gotta get on to work. So AVNT, what did we take a look at it on? We took a look at it on Coinbase, looking like we were unable to hold $1.93. Whew, that was that level we were looking for price action to hold up at, and it did not hold up at all. So looking all the way back down to some of these levels way down here, we do have a few areas to kind of keep your eye on. Let's see if that daily has a little bit of some. Is there one with longer price action? AVNT. That one's looking the same. AVNT on Binance, about the same. AVNT OKX, nope, a little bit later. AVNT on Bybit has a little bit better history on that. So let's take a look at that 4-hour there. We do have a nice little uptrend to kind of watch for. That gives you a little bit better of a history. So let's see what we're looking like on a fib extension level. We got the lows to the highs to the lows here. Looking like that 236 would be that area to watch for. Coinbase chart does have some nice little volume on it, but this gives me a little bit better history, and that's what I like to see. So we do have that 236 coming in as a potential bouncing area. You do have that MACD and a prime oscillator trying to get that movement back towards the upside here on that daily. as we get closer to that 236. That's coming in at $1.29. Let's see what that hourly is looking like. Hourly does have a little bit more downside we could get to, and that would be that $1.22. If we don't hold that, we've got some levels directly below that coming in at $1.16. That's where we saw all of that resistance back there. So that's that short-term time frame bouncing area to kind of keep your eye at, and then see if we can get that move back up towards resistance or support, which was $1.34. So let's get that one drawn out as well. $1.30, about $1.33. So we do have some areas directly towards the downside and directly towards the upside as well. Would potentially look for that 236 to be our first little bouncing area, though. That 15-minute probably coming in with some bottoming signals, and it is. So we are seeing a little bit of a slowdown on that sell-off right now, as you're starting to print some smaller red candles here. You do still see this candle coming in red on the 15-minute, so potential for a little more downside here as you're just starting to see that true 7 clip, but that money flow still in the red on the shorter term time frame. You do have some oversold signals, and that MACD's getting, or that prime oscillator is getting a little bit of some curvature here, but your MACD still pointing heavily towards the downside here. So definitely looking for a little bit of a lower price point on AVNT, probably around that $1.22 price point. If that doesn't hold, looking all the way back down to $1.15 would be what I would watch for. The 4-hour on ETH kind of looks like a bull flag. Well, I'll take a look at that and drop that in the Discord, because it is 6:30 my time and time to wind that show on down. So let's get over to my chart here. We did have Bitcoin holding as the number one on that poll, so I will get that trade on Bitcoin after I get that show winded on down. Make sure to tune in to the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. We've got 3 shows every single day. That morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We've got Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and my show every single morning to start the day on out right. I will let you know if that time changes, and I can go live a little bit later. So those are those 3 shows you should be tuning into daily. That morning market report, the best place to get the breakdown of your daily data drops. Trading with OC is for you late night folks that like to trade and have a little bit of fun. So thank you for everyone for tuning on in. I will see you in the chats the rest of the day, and I will drop some knowledge in the Discord a little bit later. Until then, I will see you in the chats, and make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.